This is ABC 7 News at 6.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Beth Jones. Peter Dubois is on assignment. First tonight, the Penobscot County Sheriff's Office has identified the two victims of a fatal crash in Carmel on Monday. The crash happened a little after 9 p.m. on Route 69. Authorities say 23-year-old Stephen Shelley of Herman was driving a car that crossed the center line before leaving the roadway and striking some trees. Shelley and his passenger, 17-year-old Caden Brown of Newburgh, were pronounced dead at the scene. Penobscot County Sheriff's Office officials say the initial investigation indicates the car was traveling at a high rate of speed prior to the crash. Detectives continue to investigate. Well, a forest fire has been burning for a day in the township of Tomhegan. At 6 a.m. today, the Maine Forest Rangers Facebook page gave an update that the fire was, at that point, 4 acres in size, and it is believed to have started from a lightning strike. A hose lay was established around the perimeter of the fire, and it was also expected that rain would help in putting out the blaze. No structures are reportedly threatened, and there have been no injuries so far. A Calais man pleaded guilty at U.S. District Court in Bangor today to distributing child sexual abuse material. According to court records, on September 10, 2021, 27-year-old Samuel Staples of Calais began a chat that the administrator of a social networking group dedicated to sharing child sexual abuse material and sent the administrator a sexually explicit image of a prepubescent girl. A search warrant was executed at Staples' residence, and during the search, Staples admitted to sending the image. Records indicate multiple images and videos of child pornography were also found on his cell phone. Staples faces up to 20 years in prison, a $250,000 fine, and up to a lifetime of supervised release. Homeland Security investigations, the Maine State Police Computer Crimes Unit, and the Calais Police Department all investigated that case. Meanwhile, groups are reacting to the Maine Supreme Judicial Court ruling in favor of the New England Clean Energy Connect Corridor, also known as the CMP Corridor. The court ruled the referendum vote blocking the project was unconstitutional. The construction of the corridor is still not guaranteed, but this ruling does move the process forward. It is still possible that the progress of construction can be halted by the lower courts. The Natural Resource Council of Maine was unable to give us an interview, but did put out a statement saying, quote, "The decision is difficult to interpret, but what is clear is that there will be further review of these issues by the lower courts. It is unclear when that review will take place or how long it will take," end quote. Similarly, no one at Central Maine Power was available for an interview, but also gave a statement that said, quote, "This unanimous decision by the law court is a victory for clean energy expansion, transmission development, and decarbonization efforts in Maine, New England, and across the country," end quote. Well, research is being done at the University of Maine to combat toxic chemicals found nearly everywhere. Our Devin Dagnall has the story.
They're found in the clothes you wear, the packages your food comes in, and the water you drink. According to Dr. Rapol, per- and polyfluoroalkyl substances, also known as PFAS, are a thin filming class of chemicals with over 4,000 chemical compounds that repels water and fat. According to Dr. Rapol, PFAS aren't just a problem unique to Maine, they're a crisis for the entire world.
Carpets, firefighting foam, so even sometimes floss has PFAS in it. It's been universally used in a lot of consumer products that makes it environmentally abundant. So it's everywhere we look at, we find trace amounts of PFAS. And unfortunately, trace amounts of PFAS is toxic to humans.
There are efforts being made to mitigate the use of PFAS and filter them out of drinking water, but then the problem arises of how to destroy filtered PFAS so that they can no longer enter the environment. According to Dr. Rapol, PFAS also create a unique problem because they can't be destroyed by conventional engineering practices. Apul and his team have worked hard to find a solution to these seemingly indestructible compounds.
We know having a carbon-based filter with excess amounts of electric charge and PFAS attached to it creates a catalytic reaction to destroy PFAS into more inert byproducts.
As of now, Apul and his team are testing their new method of destroying PFAS to make sure that it doesn't create more problems than it may fix. In Orono, I'm Devin Dagnall, Reporting for ABC7 and Fox 22.
Governor Janet Mills announced a $1.9 million initiative for expanding the treatment of substance abuse disorder. The funding will allow hospitals and healthcare providers in rural areas of the state to purchase the necessary resources. This announcement is the latest move by Maine's Department of Health and Human Services in its effort to improve the state's behavioral health system, involving the upgrading of equipment, improved staff training, and development of the facilities. Advocates want you to know there are resources available to those working to overcome addiction. The nonprofit Bangor Area Recovery Network is one of them. Erica Oliveira from Barnes says it is an all-inclusive community center that is open 7 days a week and provides different forms of aid to those in recovery from addiction. She also says for her, it's so much more than just a job.
The barn means a lot to me. So I started at the barn doing different volunteer events. And, you know, it became my home for me, as it does for many other people. So it was a safe place for me to go to, even just to hang out. We have people who just come in and play cards, not necessarily, you know, there for a, particular meeting, but just a place to hang out and be with people who are looking towards the same things in life.
Well, to watch the entire video interview from our morning show and be directed to Barnes' website, you can head to our website, foxbangor.com. Alrighty, folks, let's hit pause here, take a look outside, and get a first check of our forecast.
Thank you. Your first weather is brought by Scott's Recreation offices in Turner, Manchester, Herman, and Orono. And okay, let's look at temperatures today. Some showers, some storms out there, and temperatures hanging out near 80 here in Bangor. 76 for Millinocket, 75 for Bar Harbor. Very comfortable. The 80s, though, are not too far behind, right? Okay, so lots of showers early today, kind of pushed through. Then lots of dry air for a while, but still a couple of thunder showers out there. Non-severe. They're going to wind down early tonight, and then we're done for a couple days around here with much nicer weather on the way. As high pressure is going to build in tomorrow, high pressure is our friend. That means good weather for us going forward. Our forecast then tonight, though, is clearing skies after midnight with low temperatures back in the 50s. Your full forecast is coming up. Beth?
Alrighty, we'll be waiting for more detail on that. In the meantime, coming up on ABC 7 News at 6, Literacy Volunteers celebrates a combined 75 years of service from two of their own. And the 2022 season is the last for the Victory Chimes, as the three-masted schooner is now up for sale. We'll have those stories and much more as ABC 7 News at 6 continues.
Ladies, a main adventure.
Snacks, snacks, and more snacks. Amazing prices, better than anywhere else. How many of you have?
With a couple.
Thank you for shopping Rennie's.
Get your snacks at Rennie's.
Sting in concert, September 11th, Maine Savings Amphitheater, Bangor, Maine. Sting, My Songs. Performing songs written throughout his prolific career with special guest Joe Sumner. On sale now at waterfrontconcerts.com or Ticketmaster.com. Sting in one unforgettable night, part of the Varney Insurance Concert Series.
We're a AAA family.
We found out about AAA insurance through a friend who had actually mentioned it a while ago. We ran the numbers and it totally worked.
We looked at the statement for our previous insurer and then AAA insurance. Definitely, we've seen a huge difference.
Switch to AAA insurance today, and you could save an average of $483 on auto insurance. Compare that to State Farm, Geico, even Allstate. Call now for your free AAA full picture quote to find out how much you could save.
By switching over to AAA insurance, we saved over $450. So with our savings, he bought more equipment.
More money means more practice equipment.
In his world.
Why didn't we do this earlier? Why did it take so long?
We're a AAA family now.
AAA insurance allows us to do so much more with our kids and spend more time with them.
To find out how much you could save by switching to AAA insurance, call 877-209-5384 for your free AAA full picture quote today. You'll be glad you did.
Prices are up. The economy is weak. Maine families are drowning. But instead of helping, Jared Golden cast one of the deciding votes for Biden's new massive spending bill that will make inflation even worse. Tax hikes for nearly everyone. and up to 87,000 new IRS agents who could harass the middle class. Times are tough. When Maine families needed a lifeline, Jared Golden threw us an anchor. Congressional Leadership Fund is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Welcome to the Purple Baboon, a local gem on the Belfast waterfront. Find lots of little joys for every taste, like fun clothing for the whole family and a lovely selection of coastal Maine-made jewelry. The Purple Baboon, the best selection at great prices. 31 Front Street, Belfast.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
Several communities in Maine are taking time today to recognize International Overdose Awareness Day. Our Peter Dubois is live in Ellsworth, where a vigil just took place to honor the many lives lost to overdoses. Pete.
Hi, Beth. Thank you. Yeah, I'm here outside of the Inspire Recovery Center in Ellsworth, where people are gathering to honor those who've lost their lives due to overdose and also to support those who've lost their loved ones to overdose deaths. I'm also joined now by Gordon Smith, who's the Director of Opioid Response with the Governor's Office. Gordon, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you, Peter, for talking to me.
Absolutely, and so there have been 600 overdose deaths in the state of Maine that were reported in 2021. And behind us there are, I believe, 56 pairs of shoes for the people in Hancock County who lost their lives due to overdose between 2017 and 2021. Can you tell me what is the importance of this event tonight in spreading the awareness about overdoses?
Well, today is International Overdose Awareness Day. The governor signed a proclamation. President Biden declared the whole week to be Overdose Awareness Week. It's a very important event to acknowledge the loss that these families and communities have suffered, and at the same time educate the community about the dangers of fentanyl. It's really an epidemic of fentanyl use that's leading to our continuing problem of fatal overdoses. And so I think these events and the work of the Inspire Recovery Center, we now have 18 recovery centers in the state, are really important.
And fentanyl showing up in more and more drugs, a lot of the time unknowingly. So what is the importance of testing for fentanyl, but also having the resources like naloxone, or otherwise known as Narcan, to bring someone out of a fentanyl overdose?
Narcan, naloxone is an incredibly successful rescue if it's an opioid overdose. It doesn't work if it's a stimulant, for instance, but because there's so much fentanyl put in everything, it's almost successful universally if we can get there in time. We have too many people that are using drugs alone. People don't call 911 soon enough. So by the time, over half the time, by the time the first responders arrive, the individual is dead. So if we can get there in time, naloxone, having it all distributed across the state, since Governor Mills was elected, we've distributed over 200,000 doses of naloxone. So it's very important to have it available. Fentanyl test strips as well. Fentanyl is in 78% of the toxicology tests that we have for people who are fatally overdosed. Tonight at the Blue Hill Fair, we got 1,000 fentanyl test strips. We've got Narcan kits. That was the idea of the sheriff to and that's a great place. It's the most popular place at this time of year in Hancock County, and like all the rural counties in Maine. This is an important message to get out.
And Glenn Mosher just spoke and talked about the importance of shifting from really focusing on incarceration to treatment and resources like this. People can come to a place like this, Inspire Recovery Center, to get those resources as well, correct?
And not be judged, no stigma. People with a substance use disorder have an illness, and they need to be treated and not criminalized. That's the goal.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you so much, Gordon, for joining us. We appreciate your time and for being here for this important event. Back to you.
Thank you, Peter.
All right, Pete, thanks so much. Wednesday afternoon, literacy volunteers celebrated two of their own for working a combined 75 years. Our Matthew Jurancic has their story.
Very few can say that they have volunteered for more than 3 decades. But for Kara Shriver and Nancy Connor, this is something the two fell in love with from the start.
Someone I was talking with had to help somebody read a bus schedule because the person could not read and they were having a job interview. Then we started having refugees come to this country from Vietnam. And there was only one English language tutor at the time. And she said, Kara, we need help. Can you?
The two have worked at Literacy Volunteers for a total of 75 years, 45 years for Schreiber and 30 for Connors. During all the years Connor has worked, she says watching her students grow outside the classroom is what makes her job worthwhile.
The idea that you are coming alongside someone, you are supporting them not only with a very challenging language, English is a very complex language and an ever-evolving language, but you're also helping them to navigate the culture.
Connor and Schreiber have both taught immigrants the English language, as well as training other volunteers how to do so. Connor says that becoming a tutor requires not only work inside the classroom, but also within the community.
You almost take on an advocacy role for them as well. You're helping them wade through some really important things, and you build this wonderful relationship with them. You share their joys and their challenges.
With all the time the two have put in, they say nothing compares to having students finally understand what they are learning.
You can work and work and work with the student, and then they finally they make the sound correctly. And it is so exciting. You can't describe that feeling, that high.
Anyone interested in tutoring should call 207-947-8451, visit Literacy Volunteers website, or come to the Brewer Community Center on September 15th between 6 and 8 p.m., where they will be hosting tutoring sessions. Reporting from Bangor, Matthew Jurancic, ABC7 and Fox 22.
Well, the 2022 season is the last for the Victory Chimes, says owner Captain Sam Sikkema. He says the three-masted schooner is now for sale. The last of its kind, the Chesapeake Ram schooner, was built back in 1900 and is on the National Register of Historic Places. Losses from the 2020 season, maintenance costs, and availability of materials, as well as upcoming Coast Guard compliances, were cited as factors for the sale. The 131-foot vessel was built in Delaware as the cargo carrier Edwin and Maude, but was later fitted with passenger cabins. It is so well known and synonymous with Maine, the 2003 state quarter featured a sailing vessel that was modeled after the schooner. The Victory Chimes is listed for sale at $650,000. Alrighty, folks, well, still to come on ABC 7 News at 6, the Eastern Area Agency on Aging wants you to get ready to put on your dancing shoes for a good cause. And in sports, Old Town Field Hockey enters the 2022 season as defending Northern Maine champs. But they have a number of new faces leading the charge this fall. We'll have that story right after the break.
Bar Harbor Bank and Trust helps businesses succeed with commercial lending, cash management tools, and merchant services. Whether your business is growing, expanding, or evolving, we can make it happen together. Bar Harbor Bank and Trust, named one of America's best banks.
Al, did you make that call?
Honey, we already have Medicare. Why do I need to call?
Alan, the Feldman said we may be able to get additional benefits with a Medicare Advantage plan right here in our zip code with $0 monthly premiums.
Honey, what do you mean additional benefits? We turned 65, we got Medicare. That's all there is to it, right?
I'm talking about Medicare Part C, commonly called Medicare Advantage. We have traditional Medicare, which is only Medicare Parts A and B, but not Part C.
Wait. So not everyone on Medicare is a Part C plan?
No, that's why we need to call, because there may be plans available with additional benefits that aren't covered under Medicare Parts A and B. We don't have a Medicare Part C plan which covers everything in Part A and Part B, plus extra benefits in Medicare Part C.
What kind of extra benefits?
There are great plans that may be available with extra benefits like dental, vision, and hearing.
Did you say dental?
Yes, dental. Medicare Part C plans could include dental benefits that help cover routine dental exams and teeth cleanings, plus dental x-rays, fillings, gum disease treatment, and dentures.
We need that. I'm calling.
If you don't have a Medicare Part C plan, call now because there may be plans with additional benefits available that are simply not covered under Medicare Parts A and B, like routine dental coverage. If you're on Medicare, you can call even if you called last year. We will check to see if there is a Part C plan available in your area with additional benefits. You don't get a plan with additional benefits automatically. If you're losing coverage, moving, or new to Medicare, call to speak with a licensed insurance agent. Remember, you don't get Medicare Part C benefits automatically. Call now for your free 2022 no-obligation Medicare benefits review. Call 800-413-8094. 800-413-8094.
Easier banking anywhere, anytime, with online bill pay, digital wallet, mobile deposit, and more. Whatever you're planning, saving for, or working toward, we can make it happen together. Bar Harbor Bank and Trust, named one of America's best banks.
Put a little more cash in your bank. Save money with half-off deals at foxbangor.com.
Back, everyone. Well, let's start with some high school sports. Fall season gets underway this week, as you all know. And up in Old Town, the Coyotes are coming off a pretty successful 2021 season. In head coach Courtney Landham's first year at the helm, she led Old Town to the promised land, making the Class B North final for the first time in almost a decade. They ended up beating Lawrence in that game, too, only to fall to Leavitt in the state championship. This year, both Landham and her returning players are using that loss as motivation to get back to the big game.
As a coach and as competitive as I am and where I come from, that definitely stings, and I think it gives some of these girls, especially senior class, a chip on their shoulder.
It just makes me want to push ourselves harder, push our team to our max, and get there again and win this time.
Some added firepower there, but as every team does, the Coyotes have a few obstacles in the way of defending that regional title. They graduated 10 seniors from last year's team and have a good number of freshmen coming in, but even with that, the expectations don't change a bit.
Let these girls get together and set their own team goals. They want to be back at that high-level state game, regional championship, and even though they're young, they don't care. They're ready, and they've got the fight.
Well, she still holds us to the same standard. We work really hard, and we work together as a team as much as we can.
So a lot of new faces for the Coyotes. They'll start up their defense of that Northern Maine title this Friday at Orono. As for the other field hockey teams around the state, their regular season opener came on Wednesday afternoon. First official game of the fall season, and we go to the Union Street Fields for this one. John Bapst hosting Herman in Bangor here, and we will start in the first quarter, I should say. Delaney Carr making things happen, throws it on net. That's deflected in front. Eventually, the ball finds Danielle Holland, who fires it past Kate Griffin. Hawks take a 1-0 lead. Later in the half now, Carr again with the pass in front from the right side. This time, Grace Kelly is there to finish the job to make it a 2-0 game. Herman in front. Kelly and the Hawks would keep the pressure on in the half. Here, she's able to navigate through traffic and do it all herself. Herman starts the season with a win, 5-0, the final. And let's close things out now with some updates from the fighting world. It's been exactly a month since New England Fights announced its return to Bangor for the first time in 3 years. One local fighter taking part in the Queen City Showdown is Brewers' Glory Watson. This will be Watson's first professional fight in and around her hometown, with her last appearance in Bangor coming back in 2019 when she was still an amateur. Another local fighter is Auburn's Matt Denning, who will compete in the welterweight class versus MMA veteran Jordan Downey. Fight night is set for next Friday, September 9th. At the Cross Insurance Center in Bangor. All right, that's sports. Here's Jeff Weller with your full 5-day forecast. Jeff?
Thank you, Dave. Your full weather is brought to you by Diversified Ink Tattoo Studio in Penobscot Plaza in Bangor, providing custom ink by licensed artists for over 20 years. And all right, let's start with temperatures today. Very comfortable, right? Yes, there were a couple of showers out there and a couple of thunder showers, but temperatures did what they are supposed to do this time of year and then some. The average high being mid-70s. Most of us did that and then some today. Also, the wind again. It got a little squirrely earlier out of the south early today, but now it's going to switch out of the northwest. That's going to bring in some cooler, drier Canadian air and give us a couple of very nice days around here. Our next meaningful chance for rain most likely not until after the weekend, although there could be a couple sprinkles around the area for tomorrow. Allergies, all right, so they're going up once again. So the tree pollen, grass pollen, okay, but weeds heading up there as well. And the mold, too, in the moderate to high category. And these will probably keep going up into the weekend as we bring back some sunshine back into the equation. Here's the satellite picture from today. And again, we had lots of rain showers early today. Some of you saw about a half-inch of rainfall last night in the early parts of this morning. Then we got a break for several hours, followed by a couple of thunder showers coming through the area now. But this is it then for tonight. But tomorrow, there could be a couple more as this very big area of low pressure kind of spins itself out of here. But still, there is some stuff back here, some instability. The air above us is much colder. You put some sunshine on that, you could get a quick bubble of thunder shower. There is a chance for a couple of sprinkles throughout the day tomorrow as this whole thing kind of pulls away. But then we're good into Friday and Saturday. Futurecast shows us very well. So here we are tonight, no worries at all. Tomorrow morning, about 7:30 or so, looking at partly cloudy skies. But again, we're in an atmosphere here, which could give us a quick shower at any given time, especially tomorrow afternoon. Then that's going to pull out of here tomorrow evening. And overall, looking at a very nice day for us into Friday. Friday could be one of those days where there isn't a single cloud in the sky pretty much all day long as high pressure will build in and giving us a very nice weekend at that. So going forward, rainfall-wise, again, there's a couple of showers left over tonight and then a couple of sprinkles across the region tomorrow. The heaviest rain has ended. We're done with that for now. Our next chance for rain not until after the weekend. And we could use some rain. So, of course, tomorrow, this map gets updated, but we have been, of course, in a level 1, 2, and 3 drought condition across the state pretty much all summer long. We could use the rainfall. We got a little bit today. Most likely get a little bit more in here later on after Sunday. Our forecast then tonight, though, is rain ending out there now, turning partly cloudy to midnight and a calm wind. That could give us some dense fog wherever it rained again today. For tomorrow, here we go. So I threw in a couple sprinkles. Most of us will stay dry. Look for high temperatures near 75 under partly cloudy skies. And then looking ahead, your 5-day forecast shows the story. 75 tomorrow, 77 for Friday, and gorgeous. Here's Saturday, 79. There's that chance for a couple of thunder showers on Sunday. Not an all-day rain, with temperatures hanging out in the mid-70s. Beth?
Alrighty, so not quite as hot as we've had, but still definitely very nice summer weather. All right, well, there's still more to come after the break. Stay with us.
What's better than a sale? The Label Shopper Summer Warehouse Sale. Direct from our warehouse, prices $3, $4, $5 and up. Where else can you get designer brands as low as $3, $4, $5 and up? Label Shopper, great clothes, great prices.
Last year, I cracked Biden's aggressive spending agenda. Now, I'm delivering on common sense reforms that are good for America, like lowering prescription drug prices for thousands of Maine seniors, preventing healthcare costs from spiking on working families, and opening up oil and gas production to lower fuel costs, while reducing the deficit by hundreds of billions of dollars. I'm Jared Golden, and I approve this message because Maine common sense is back on the table in Washington.
Gas, groceries, school supplies. Everything costs more these days. It's outrageous. Things are tough, and every little bit helps. That's why we've balanced budgets without raising taxes. And we're able to give real money back to Maine people to help them with higher costs.
Fighting inflation instead of each other. One more way Governor Mills puts Maine first.
A grieving grandmother.
Her grandson sadly died.
And a devastated fiancé.
She paid for the funeral.
Forced to keep reliving her pain.
We want her to pay for a headstone.
Yes, ma'am. Your Honor, she gave our whole family false hope.
It's there.
It was a gifted one.
I don't care if it was gifted or not. It was a headstone. So are you satisfied?
No.
Next, Judge Judy.
Wednesday at 5, only on ABC 7.
Jason Aldean. Rock and Roll Cowboy Tour 2022. Presented by Wolf Moon Bourbon. Saturday, September 10th. Maine Savings Amphitheater, Bangor, Maine. With Tracy Lawrence. Time marches on. And John Morgan. If I didn't love. ACM Artist of the Decade. Jason Aldean. now at waterfrontconcerts.com or Ticketmaster.com.
Tonight, heat waves, mega droughts, flash floods, entire communities left without clean drinking water. Is this extreme weather mix the new normal? More Americans turn to World News Tonight with David Muir, the most watched program on all of television.
Finally tonight, the Eastern Area Agency on Aging is giving folks a good reason to get dressed up and put their dancing shoes on. They're putting on a senior prom, but it's not what you might think. The big day is Friday, September 16th from 6 to 9 p.m., and it's for anyone 21 years of age and older. Hence the use of the word senior. It's being held at the Morgan Hill Event Center in Herman, and the agency says all the proceeds go to fund their programs like Meals on Wheels. They say they've seen the rise in costs for basic necessities and want to make sure they are able to support Mainers in need.
The reason we're doing this fundraiser is because we are worried about those costs. When a consumer calls us who needs Meals on Wheels, we want to make sure that we can provide that meal for them and they're not put on a wait list.
Fry says for those attending, there's no need to rush out and rent a tux or gown. A shirt and tie or a nice dress will do just fine. Tickets are $50, and you can use a discount code PROM10 when you check out online to pay $40 instead. So definitely a good reason to get a little gussied up and go out for an evening of dancing, a great cause there. Alrighty, folks, well, that is going to do it for us from everyone here at ABC 7 News. Take care, have a great rest of your night, and we'll see you right back here at 11. Good night, everybody.